Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Lochlea Cask Strength Batch 1. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Lochlea Cask Strength Batch 1. This is a lowland single malt Scotch whisky and it came to me as part of my Summerton whisky subscription, which is £50 every 2 months. The distillery itself was founded back in 2018 by a cattle farmer who sold his herd to fund his whisky distillery. The distillery is housed on site at the farm and it uses their own barley which they grow on the farm. The whisky itself is aged in first fill ex-bourbon barrels and Oloroso sherry casks. It's one of 15,000 bottles, it's 60.1% ABV. It's non-chill filtered and natural colour and retails for £65. Shall we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. So before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I'd say that is like an amber, really is a nice colour indeed. Let's start with the nose. Right, so the first thing I get with this is fresh green apples. There's a little bit of dry wood in there as well. I'm getting a hint of red berries. I'm getting like a strawberry syrup. There's a hint of ethanol in there. I'm getting like vanilla custard. I'm also getting like sweet pastries as well. Very nice. Let's move on to the palate. Right, so the first thing I get with this, obviously it's 60.1% ABV cask strength, is heat and chili pepper. That's unmistakable, but it isn't too punchy. It isn't like, it isn't overbearing, that heat. But it's definitely noticeable, and I think this dram, if you're going to drink it neat, definitely takes a few sips to acclimatise yourself. But there are some flavours in there with that. I'm getting vanilla, I'm getting custard, and I'm also getting like green apple skin. So there are very similar notes on the palate, especially to start with, like there is on the nose. Let's have another sip. Yeah, so I'm getting some charred oak now. Definitely is some wood influence in there. I'm getting some biscuit notes. I'm getting some baking spices, which is really nice. And there's also like a hint of red wine as well. But yeah, it's definitely tasty so far. Let's have one final sip. Yeah, the more you drink this, it definitely becomes a little bit punchier, but that punchiness sort of turns into like a fizziness on my palate. Really is nice. And I'd say, I have tried this with water, and I would say that water brings out sort of berries on the palate, which I don't seem to get without water. In terms of finish, well, I'd say it's quite long. There is quite a lot of dry oak. There is like apple seeds. There's heat and pepper. But with water, this also brings out red fruits on the finish, which is very similar to the way I get the sort of red berries on the palate with water. Really is quite nice. In terms of value, well, as I said, I picked this up as part of my Summerton subscription, which is £50 every 2 months. And obviously at £50, I think this is great value. It's cask strength, it's natural colour, non-chill filtered. Obviously it's quite young. I'd say this is probably 5 or 6 years old. But although there is a bit of youthfulness, I think this is really quite impressive. I think that value is definitely there compared to retail. And would I pay £60, £65 for this at retail? Yeah, I probably would. it's my first Lochlea that I've tried, and I'm definitely impressed at what I've tried so far. So it makes me want to sort of find out, you know, maybe if they've got a just an ex-bourbon version of this, or yeah, just an American oak, I think would be quite interesting, because you get the full character without that sherry influence. Obviously the sherry makes it really tasty, but yeah, I think I'd like to sort of understand their DNA and maybe even try their new make as well. But I think if this is my first impression of a fairly new brand, it definitely gives me encouragement that they're going the right way, and they're going to bring out some really good whiskey in future, because this is really nice. This particular whiskey, I think, was 69% first fill ex-bourbon and 31% sherry. So I think the mix is quite good, but yeah, definitely would like to try this, you know, warts and all, as an ex-bourbon only. I think their master blender is a guy called John Campbell, who's ex-Lafroig. So they've definitely got somebody at the helm who knows what they're doing. And yeah, I'd really be interested to see where they decide to go with this in future. Whether or not they go age statements, whether or not they try different makeups of casks. I think the fact that for a young distillery, they're putting out stuff that's non-chill filtered, natural colour and cask strength as well, at not a ridiculous price, I think it's definitely a sign of good things to come. If you've tried anything from Lochlea, then let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And if you haven't, then hopefully you found this interesting, and hopefully you'll come back for some more next time. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.